So, I have been watching YouTube videos on Xenoverse 3 for weeks now. The more I watch, the more almost irritated I get. And it's not necessarily that the information is irritating me, it's more the community. I'm not quite sure anymore what it is we want. Maybe I should start this off a bit more scripted. Are people no longer angry?
I didn't expect this, bro. I didn't expect this, bro. Okay.
Leading by example. An apology that I don't fit into any of the boxes that you guys are trying to put me in.
Are you crazy? I am not a glazer, my guy. I'm not a Xeno 3 glazer, I swear. We gotta talk about today the glazers of Xenoverse 3. Dude, I'm not jealous. I'm especially not jealous of you, you overweight fucking weirdo. Like, what? Like, what am I jealous of, nigga? Most of you niggas hide your faces online.
I want y'all to listen to his criticisms. This guy does not have the ability to criticize Dragon Ball. Instead of saying this soul change is garbage and no one asked for it, it's a little questionable. He is such a coward. You got that old nigga, you got the ham sandwich, the fat nigga, you got these loser ass thug niggas. The whole community is filled up with these people. And everybody gets mad at me for saying it.
I guess it's not over? Well, I want to have a conversation now, truly and honestly, about what Xenoverse is. I want to hopefully correct some misunderstandings that I think the community has just come up with. A part of me is a little bit sad for us, to be honest. One of the first things that I want to tackle is that we have a new fundamental system in Xenoverse 3. And I call it a fundamental system because I do think that it is fundamental to what Xenoverse was. The way that our ki and stamina works is fundamental to the gameplay rotation that we have come to know, especially if we play Xenoverse 2 a lot. There are so many things that the game did not do well. Servers are not necessarily great, depending on connectivity, and even more so, just certain moves would not work or connect online. It got even worse when it came down to the way that people did PvE and PvP. They tended to fall into just this rotation of spam.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, psych nigga. What? Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 introduced a cooldown, so you can no longer spam in Xenoverse 3, which I think is kind of corny because, like, why would you even take that mechanic away? It just gives it that, like, mobile game feeling now, right?
Most of the combat that you see, PvE, is derived by the mechanics of the game, how broken they can be and how well they work, so that people can just easily cut through content. This is why we have spam as a thing. People learn it from PvE and they bring it into PvP. PvP is a wholly different argument. You can be great at spamming in PvE, but it means nothing when it comes down to you going against other players. It may not work at all. And you'll wonder why people tell you, don't go to PvP in Xenoverse 2. There's a fundamental meta behind the combat, and if you do not participate in it, you hold a very high likelihood of losing the game. These mechanics and the things that people use in the PvP of Xenoverse 2, they use them in order to allow for their combos to extend, for the gameplay to feel fun, for things to feel good. But the combat still comes from a broken place. A lot of what we create in Xenoverse 2, meta and combo efficiency and all those things that fall underneath that, they're all built on a very wobbly structure. Xenoverse 3 looks as though it wants to fix that structure. Not only have they already stated in interviews that one of the main things they wanted to get rid of was the spamming, and they wanted to make encounters more tactical and prevent one dominant spam pattern. With that being the case, a lot of what they have changed does that for us, but the conversation doesn't seem to want to go any deeper beyond that. The conversation seems to always stop right where it's about to get good, because from here you just get people that complain. Us as the average player, we always look to see what in games we can enjoy, what will keep us playing those games. We've seen people talking about how the soul switching mechanic is very similar to what you can do in Dragon Ball The Breakers. We've seen a lot of people talking about how the combination of ki and stamina rings very similar to a more simplified system, and a lot of them don't seem to enjoy this aspect. Even calling in assist characters to do special moves, they also feel is very Dragon Ball Breakers, if not Dragon Ball Battle Z. For those who play PvE, they'll probably really enjoy these things. These changes look as though they do a very good job for allowing the PvE players to have more of a challenge and less of the ability to just sit and spam to get through content, right? And that could be kind of fun. Also, the idea of the mentorship actually having a bit more of an added boon, where you may be able to not only have them join to do special moves, but you could also learn their combo sets, their move sets, and implement that within your own character. But now I really want to get into the deep and grindy aspects of this, right? One, the combination of the ki and stamina system means that it is probably not the best idea for your special moves now to cost ki, because it will also cost you stamina. This will ruin your ability to be defensive. Draining both of them would not necessarily make the game more balanced, but make games quicker and maybe more one-sided if one person is marginally better than the other. Now, that doesn't sound like a fix, that sounds like an added issue. So how did they fix this problem? Well, abilities are now on cooldown and they do not cost you ki. This means the rinse and repeat cycle is now gone, which for the average everyday Xenoverse PvP player should be a good thing.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 introduced a cooldown, so you can no longer spam in Xenoverse 3. Go away. It just gives it that like mobile game feeling now, right? Like, you know, in a mobile game you tap a button.
Now, using my specific combo might work better with these specific moves, but over time, as I add and try different special moves, I may find that other combos actually make it better if I use this move with it. Maybe we find that Gohan's moveset or Teenage Gohan moveset really works better with Dragon Punch. We don't really necessarily know, just the idea of being able to try out different combinations, because before all we had was the same movesets, and if you wanted to change that moveset, you would have to change race entirely, your whole Xenoverse race, and then from there you're restarting, really, and that does not necessarily sound fun to me, so I never really did it. But the combos got boring. Every other player that I go against feels highly predictive. Now let's talk about what these changes do. Again, get back onto topic, right? We still have these cooldown systems, and what does this cooldown system resemble? I've seen a lot of people try to talk about how it does nothing but simply kill the game, but to me, I think not only does it have a tremendous effect on people's ability to enjoy PvE with more difficult content, I think it also drags itself into improving PvP, because not only does it get rid of the spamming, but it allows for this complexity in everyday combat. The main game and the main community we can go to ask about this aspect is actually the Shinobi Striker community. They are PvP centric. That community plays PvP and cares about PvP, and if you look at the parallels between the games, Shinobi Striker really is their answer for Xenoverse in the Naruto universe. And what that pushed forward for them was, well, if Xenoverse is going to be the PvE section, then Shinobi Striker should be more PvP. And their idea of balancing that came down strictly to the cooldowns of the abilities, how fast they cool down, so on and so forth. But we see they still have a Xenoverse mindset in the game. Outfits, different sets for outfits can give you different abilities. Bonuses can reduce your cooldowns for your substitution jutsus. There are so many things that the game allows for you to implement within your playstyle, and you can mix and match and play different things, and with different game modes for PvP as well. This kind of improves that aspect even more. But the cooldown system, I think, is essential for the balance in Shinobi Striker. If it was more similar to Xenoverse, I think you would find that game to be even more broken than it already is. But I would argue it's broken now for one reason only: its scroll system, its gacha system, and the way the DLC packs work. So then this game falls into the same trap of, well, I need this item in order to use this move, and need this move in order to be able to use this particular buff on this outfit, and now this is how I get my character to play just like how they do in meta. I feel like the best chance of success. So many different metas that have come and gone, so many different builds and mindsets and ideas and collaborations between item sets and abilities, that there's a vast amount of things that you can try out. Of course, there are the things that are working right now for everyone, but then there's the things that will work right now for you. And that is what that game does, but that is what Xenoverse can also do, and at an even higher rate, unless they add a gacha mechanic to Xenoverse, which, based on the route of things that they have added from Shinobi Striker or from other games like Breakers, I do think they could easily lean into that more row-based scroll gacha. They can literally just use the capsules for it, and I don't want that to happen whatsoever. But I do think they could easily squeeze that in here, and it would ruin the PvE PvP aspect of this game, I think. Keeping it just in a realm where you have to play the PvE in order to get item sets, in order to get costumes, like it was in Xenoverse 2 and Xenoverse 1. Keep that going. I really want to grind for the things that allow for me to explore and expand my movesets and my character. I've noticed that people have been talking about the ki management system. Now that ki and stamina are together, this doesn't seem like a very fun aspect. I've noticed, not only from what they've said, but also from what we've seen in game, that this mechanic actually has a lot more boost chase. For instance, boost chase is now something you can do after a combo has knocked someone away, or maybe even after you've just stunned them with a heavy hit. Being able to do that costs you a half of a bar. And then I also noticed there's a certain block that a character can do. It looks like it might be a perfect block or some type of key block to some degree, where when they block your attacks, rather than their stamina / ki depleting, your stamina and ki will deplete as you attack for every attack. I noticed that, and that was very interesting. But what I also noticed was that after a character had done that and had used a boost chase, they didn't break themselves. So it appears that the other player has to break you. You can run through your own resources and then recoup them as long as the player never hits you. That to me is a nice added complexity of combat. Xenoverse felt very neutral heavy, and if not, then you're constantly trying to rotate to taking out their stamina first. A system that is very reminiscent of what we do in the Naruto Storm games. More often than not, depending on how the fight went, this might be the combo that kills you. But in this game, it looks like it's going for something a little bit different. Mechanically, it's moving from make a character and master your toolkit to key break, leading to a critical strike, leading to skill cooldowns, assist gauges, soul switch windows, and possibly some timed awakenings. They all point the same way, as the producers said they wanted. But it can also make the game feel more curated and less like you're Saiyan or Majin or whatever, however you want to talk about it, and whatever character you make. It's all on you, buddy. My opinion is that we are arguing about the change, not what the change could bring to the game. And I do want to continue to talk more about these new aspects of the game and how they truly do change things, right? It could be one of those situations where everyone finds out that one option is obviously better and everyone's builds start looking the same. This is the biggest concern I have with Xenoverse 3 overall. Not that it is changing, it absolutely should change from Xenoverse 2, but it cannot just be Xenoverse 2 again with better graphics. My concern is whether these new systems still leave enough room for your character to feel like your character, because Xenoverse has always been about that fantasy of making your own Dragon Ball fighter, your own Saiyan, Namekian, Majin. It looks faster, the attacks look like they connect more, and I'm okay with that, but Xenoverse 3 is clearly leaning more into a structured fights. Key pressure, cooldown, assist gauge, soul switch, transformation windows, boss mechanics, ultimates much bigger, taking out more enemies in just one strike with no additional damage on them. Missions look fundamentally bigger. The new Age 1000 setting is actually new instead of just another rescan of the timeline universe, Kantan City. So there is a lot here that could be great. But the question is not really, are cooldowns good? And it is not, why did they change stamina? The real question is, do all of these create better decisions during a fight? Do I have to think about when to vanish? Do I have to decide whether to drain ki or go for damage? Do I save my soul switch for the boss? Do I use my transformation now or wait for the right opening? Does transformations, oh my, like, Do transformations give me HP when I'm in a PvP match versus PvE? Do all transformations do this? Can I go Super Saiyan 3 and any life that I lost in Super Saiyan 1 come back again? Then Xenoverse 3 could end up being way more tactical than Xenoverse 2 while still feeling like Xenoverse. If the answer is no, and it just turns into waiting for cooldowns while your CAC has less freedom than before, then all of these big changes are going to feel like restrictions instead of improvements. Right now, I am interested, but I need to see so much more, especially how different races work, how transformations are balanced, how long cooldowns can actually be, and if they have the same systematic difference between them as those from a Shinobi Striker, and whether the game rewards you for being aggressive instead of just making you wait. Because Xenoverse 3 is not trying to be Xenoverse 2 again. The real question is whether it is becoming something better or just something more controlled.